Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Time. He is my first supporter on Patreon. You too can support me on Patreon for as little as $1, and that $1 will get you a shout out at the beginning of all my future videos, as well as early access to videos before they post on YouTube. And as well, you will gain access to my Discord server, which is exclusive to my Patreons. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a fully functional mini-map for your game in Roblox Studio. Adding a mini-map can help your players navigate open world maps or adventure games more easily. We'll go over tracking the player's position, adding icons for points of interest, and even customizing the mini-map's appearance. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, just to make this a little bit more exciting, is I'm going to just get a map off the toolbox. So I just searched map, and let's see what this map city looks like. That looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that, so let's use it. And then we need to set up the user interface for our mini map. So in the Explorer panel, find your starter GUI and click the plus icon on it and select screen GUI. And we're going to name this Minimap GUI to keep it nice and organized. And inside of the Minimap GUI, we want to insert a frame. This frame will serve as the background for our minimap. Let's resize and position the frame. I'm going to move mine or keep mine in the top left corner. But one thing that we want to do is we want to make it use scale for its size, not offset, which is what it uses by default. So just set offset to 0 and set scale to any decimal. I like to just do 0.2, 0.20. And then now we can resize it and position it any way we want to, and it will use the scale property. All right, so I'm gonna go with 222 by 222, but you can make yours whatever size you would like. Now let's add an image label inside this frame, which will display our map. I'm going to rename this image label to be map image. And in a little bit, we will change its image property to show the layout of our game. But first, let's go over creating a top-down image of your map. So to make a mini map, we need to make a top-down picture of our game's map. And to do this, we're just simply going to zoom out of the workspace and use the View tab to take a screenshot. So I'm already in a pretty good position to get a screenshot, but let me show you how I got to this position. So I'll just zoom way in. You just zoom out, hold down the right mouse button and rotate it up. Actually, you don't have to do that. Just click this gizmo in the top right corner. Click the side that says top, and that'll put you in a top view. And then just zoom out until you're happy. I'm going to select the workspace so that base plate is not selected. Where is, or not the base plate, the spawn location. Yeah, you see that little blue thing? It really doesn't matter, that blue outline. I'm just going to select workspace, and actually I am going to get rid of the base plate too while I'm at it. Then let's go to our View tab, screenshot saved, open here. Click here to open screenshot folder. So that opened on another screen of mine, which is fine. I don't feel like I need to show it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this in a photo editor app. I'm simply going to crop it to make it perfectly square, and then I'll show you how to upload it to Roblox. All right, I've got my minimap image cropped to where it is perfectly square. I did 512 by 512 pixels. Be sure you know where it's saved on your computer, and then we're going to upload it to Roblox by going to the View tab. Click the Asset Manager, which will open the Asset Manager window. I think it's opening down here, but the output window is blocking it. I'm just going to close the output window. And there is my Asset Manager. So save to start using the Asset Manager. So we need to save this first. Let's save it to Roblox. And once you have it saved, the asset manager should now look like this. what we want to click is the bulk import. We want to go to where that minimap is saved. So mine is in my downloads folder. And you should get a completed sign with that nice green check mark next to it. That means it uploaded successfully. Let's exit out of the bulk import window. And let's go back to our image label in our starter GUI. Inside of our minimap GUI, inside of our frame, there's our map image. Scroll down till you find the image property, which is right here. You can see it should say placeholder PNG. Click it, and then you should see your minimap that you just uploaded. And then just click on it, and there you go. You should now see a top-down view of your map displayed inside of the minimap frame. But we can see that it's not filling up the entire frame. This is an easy fix. Just go to your size property, and you can see it's using the offset. We want it to use the scale, but for the scale we want it to be 1 because we want it to fill up the entire area of the frame. So just 1 0 1 0. So on second thought, we need to go to our frame, and we actually don't want to use scale. We want to use offset. The reason for this is because I don't want the map to be changing size if we change the size of the screen. I actually want it to stay a fixed number of pixels. It'll make scripting it easier. So change scale to 0. Offset, I'm going to do 200 and do it for both the X and the Y. And it should look about the same. And so now if we were to rescale our screen, it is going to make the map not scale with the screen size. It's going to stay a fixed number of pixels, which is actually what we want for this. Or at least it's what I want for this. Now inside the map image, add an image label to represent the player icon on the minimap. You can upload a custom image or use a simple shape. So click the plus icon and do image label. Let's rename this image label to be player icon. And for the size, I'm trying to decide if we should use offset or scale for this. I really don't think it matters. I'm going to use scale, and I'm going to do 0.050, 0.050. And like I said, you can use an image or you can use just a color. Like you could just make it a red square. It's a square by default. I grabbed this off of Google. It's just a crosshair. I just searched crosshairs and found this. If you do use an image, you're gonna want to change the background color to be transparent, or the background transparency to be all the way up on 1. And there you go. Maybe you can see it. It's in the very top left corner. It's a little crosshair. And so that's what I'll be using for my player icon. So with the UI in place, let's add a local script to the screen GUI to handle the player's icon movement on the minimap. So click the plus icon on the minimap GUI and add in a local script. Let's rename this to be Minimap Script. So we're going to start by getting the size of the game world. Now we could set the size of the game world manually, like we could measure it in studs and then set it in the script, and that would make our script shorter and cleaner, but I think it's better to just measure through script the size of the world. It just makes it more flexible, and it just makes it more robust, and just overall all around better. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to create 2 vector3 variables, a min bound and a max bound, to track the smallest and largest coordinates of all the parts in the workspace. So it's going to basically cycle through all the parts that are in our workspace, and then it's just going to calculate it to measure the size of the world. So don't worry if it doesn't make sense, just follow along. So again, this code goes through every part in the workspace to find the minimum and maximum coordinates, which define the size of our game world. We then use these values to calculate the width and the height of the world in studs. Next, we need to grab some variables for our player and character, as well as the GUI elements. We then want to calculate the size of the world and the minimap itself, so we can then convert the player's position into coordinates on the minimap. We also want to add a speed multiplier to control how quickly the icon moves on the map. So I've set the offset to be 0 and the speed multiplier to be 1. We will adjust this later on whenever we are configuring our map. But here we calculate the world size in the X and Z directions. We also grab the minimap size using absolute size, which gives us the dimensions in pixels. The offset variable adjusts the dot's initial placement, and the speed multiplier changes how fast the icon moves on the minimap. So now let's handle the player icon's movement. We'll normalize the player's world position to a 0 to 1 range and convert that to the minimap's pixel coordinates. This script updates every frame using render step to track the player's humanoid root part. We normalize the player's X and Z positions based on the world size. The icon's movement speed is adjusted using the speed multiplier, and we apply the offset to fine-tune the initial placement. So let's hit play and test it out. So it's not quite accurate. Let's move towards the middle. But first, let's do this. Where's our spawn location? Let's go to our workspace, our spawn location, and let's make it to where it's easily recognizable on the map. So I'm going to put it right in the center of this grass spot right here, this grass circle. So I'm going to select my move tool, and let's press play. We should spawn right there. You can see it's a little bit to the right. We need to adjust the offset to make it appear, to make it start in the middle. So we need to move it to the left a little bit. So let's go to our Minimap script. And this is the part that's not very fun about doing this. It's just the way that I've found to work, but you do have to play with the settings a lot to get it to work correctly. So -50, why did we spawn over here? There must be a spawn location in this map, so let's find it, and let's delete it. That should fix that. Let's hit play again, and it's actually too far to the left now. We need to, let's try like -20. It's just a lot of trial and error. That's pretty good actually right there. You just got to keep trying different values until you get the results you're looking for. Need to bring it down a little bit, so I think we gotta go positive to bring it down on the Y. Let's just try 10. I did bring it down, but a little bit too far. Let's cut it in half to 5. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now what you need to do is you need to figure out the speed multiplier. So if I walk this direction straight ahead, that'll take me out this way. So we should be moving down on the map if I walk this way. We are, but it's moving way too slow, because now we should be right here on the map, but we hadn't even gotten outside the grassy circle. So let's try 2 0.5 for the speed multiplier. And unfortunately, I think that will mess up our offset, so we're gonna have to reconfigure the offset. I told y'all this was not that fun to do, but it does work once you get it configured correctly. So you can see I moved it way down here, so we need to dramatically increase these numbers. So let's try negative 250, negative 200. Let's try 0. Negative 150. Getting closer. Negative 1. Let's try negative 150, negative 150. That's pretty close. And 160. It's gonna be 155. Nope, 160 is perfect. All right, now let's see. So if I walk down here, it's definitely moving faster. That's pretty close. Pretty close, but I don't think it's quite fast enough. Let's try walking all the way over here. Yeah, it's just a hair too slow. You can tell how accurate it is by just like walking towards the edge of the map and just stay on the path. And if it starts getting off the path on the map, then you can tell you need to speed it up. Like you see how I walked over here, it was pretty good down here, but as soon as I started walking over here, it's just a tad too slow and it knocked us off the path. So like I said, this is trial and error. You just got to keep playing with these settings until you get the results you want. So we're gonna have to adjust our offset again. So let's try negative 175 and negative 160. That's pretty close. You need to go to the right a little bit. So negative 170. Oops. And negative 160. That's pretty good. I just want a hair to the right. So we need to do negative 168. Dang it, I keep doing that. And I think we need to bring it up just slightly. Negative 162. That looks good. All right, let's test it out now. So I should be right in the center of this path. I'm not quite centered on the path on the map. Let's walk down to the edge and see how well it tracks. It's pretty good. It's pretty close. It's really close. It would honestly be good enough, I think, but it's still just a tad slow. Let's do 2.65. And of course, we got to adjust the offset. All right, let's try this. That's pretty good so far. It's not quite centered on the path. Maybe it's still a hair too slow. Let's turn it up a little bit. I'm not happy with it. Let's go to 2.7. Let's do 2.75. Let's just go up a whole decimal. And we'll do negative 185 and 177. Why not? That was shockingly close. So we'll do negative 183. 182. This is gonna be good. I can feel it. So far it's perfect. perfect so far. Absolutely perfect. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's wonderful. So yeah, guys, you're just gonna have to play around with these settings. These are the settings I came to: offset of -182 and -177 with a speed multiplier of 2.75. Again, I've got my frames dimensions at 200 pixels by 200 pixels. And that is it. You have created a functional mini-map that tracks the player's movement in the game. You can customize it further by changing the icon. You can change the size, the color, whatever picture you want. It's completely up to you. But if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Roblox Studio tutorials. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.